because it was so hot. I did mess up, and then I was like, oh shoot, not gonna forget to do that again. What's up guys, my name's Steve, or is it Ben? I'm a career firefighter and paramedic, accomplished nightclub DJ and producer, avid traveler, and man of 1,000 hobbies. That's me. That's me. And that's me. Oh, and I was also on TV for a while.
20. Steve, take over from me.
That's me right there. You're not here because of that. You're here because this is me. I've decided to work my way up from zero training to instrument-rated commercial pilot, and I'm taking you along on the journey with me. We may hit some turbulence along the way, but I'm okay with that. Welcome to my channel.
Roger, runway 16, clear to land.
Runway 16, clear for landing. What's up you guys, welcome to the channel. After what feels like forever, I finally did my very first solo a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, the audio jack that I plugged the audio into while I was flying didn't work. That was not my focus at the time, so I didn't bother to fix it. I just wanted to get the flight done and focus on my flying. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna watch it back together, and I'm gonna critique my landings. So I did a total of 3 laps in the pattern by myself. It was hotter than you can imagine. It was in the evening, it was about 6:30 in the evening, and it was still 97 degrees when I was flying. So if you see how terrible and sweaty I look, that's why. So let's go ahead and take a look at these videos together. All right, pre-flight check is complete. Passenger briefing is not applicable. Doors and windows are secured. Fuel shutoff valve is not applicable. Radios and electrical equipment are off. Circuit breakers are all in. Trim is set for takeoff. Fuel selector valve is on both. Nav and beacon lights are on. Throttle leave almost out. Make sure full rich. Clear prop. Alright, here we go. Takeoff number 1. You can tell I'm really hot. Opening windows. Looks like we haven't quite been cleared yet. I'm talking to you guys on the camera about how it's hot, not knowing that you couldn't hear me. Alright, looks like I just got cleared. You know, guys, I went through waves of nervousness with this. At certain points in this, felt like, oh man, this is it. I'm really in a plane by myself. And then there were other points where it felt normal. Takeoff, obviously, I felt a little bit like, ooh, here we go. I feel like once I got in the air, it felt totally normal, you know. And then as I did my final approaches, I was nervous, but then I was so focused on what I was doing, I kind of didn't really have the time to be nervous, if that makes sense. Also, guys, there was about 1 million cicadas out, so you can see the windows are really dirty as we're taking off into the sun right now. They were everywhere. They were swarming me. Alright, here we are looking good on our first takeoff. There I am, smiling. I'm in the air, I'm sweating. Also guys, this was the first time I really flew in a lot of heat, and I think it put our density altitude that day at like 4,500 feet, and our field elevation is 647 over there at Executive, so it's a really big difference. And it was my first time really, I mean, I noticed, I could tell a performance difference, you know. My climb rate wasn't great. It took a little bit longer for the aircraft to want to leave the ground. So definitely my first time with that. The other factor while I was doing these is that I was on a runway I hadn't used before. Generally, we use runway 16 or 34. I've never used any of the other runways. We were at runway 30 on this day, and man, kind of threw off my game because I don't know the taxiway exits right there very well. And actually, it intersects with runway 6 and 24 right there. So there was an issue at one point. You can't hear it, obviously, but the controller can tell it got a little confused because I started to turn off on a taxiway. Actually, that happened while I was with my instructor on the first time around. So got a little confusing over there. It is listed on the FAA diagram as one of the hotspots right there. So yeah, guys, one thing I did not do well on this day, I was very low on the glide slope. So you'll see almost every single landing, when I get pretty close, I'm 4 red lights. The other thing I noticed that I could work on a lot is centerline discipline. You'll see me, I don't think on this first one here, but you'll see me be real off the center line on the second and third ones. Alright, so here we are. We're looking good. We're looking low though. Not dangerously low, by the way, you know. Obviously, I knew I was going to make the runway no issue, but perfect landing starts with a perfect pattern, right? And then subsequently being on glide slope like you're supposed to be. So here we are, first landing, holding it off, holding it off, holding it off. There we go. Not bad. Felt pretty good about that one. So on this one, what they had me do is flip around and then do a taxi back on the runway. All right, so here we are for the second one, and you'll see I'm taxiing back right now. They're giving me some extra instruction just because they know I am a student solo here. They asked me if I was fine with that too. They said, "Are you okay to do that?" I was like, "Absolutely, it's no problem." Make my turn here. Get that window closed, even though it's burning up. All right, here we go. Number 2. Now, one thing that I did mess up on takeoff number 2, and I'll just point it out because I try to be transparent with you guys. I had leaned the mixture because it was so hot, and I didn't notice till probably about right here, and then I was like, oh shoot, I didn't enrich in the mixture. And I had noticed because, I don't know, something kind of cued me where it wasn't fully like getting where it needed to be engine wise. So that did shake me up a little bit, you know, and lesson learned. Not gonna forget to do that again. All right, looks like we're on our downwind now. checking things, making sure everything's good. Trying to stay cool. The other thing, when I have these cameras in the cockpit for you guys, and it's a hot day like this, I have my vents in the Cessna pointed at the cameras. So I'm not really getting any air. Bring in some flaps. We're about to turn on base here. Alright, turn and final. You're going to see another fairly low approach. Guys, I've soloed multiple times since this. I just took a while to sit down and do this part of it. And I have been focusing on my glide slope, and it's gotten much better. That I'm pretty much 2 reds, 2 whites on every single final. Alright, so here we are, looking good, minus the low glide slope. I was really focusing on my airspeed, crossing the threshold on these, trying to come in right at 65. Manage that speed and power. You'll see I get a little off center line here. Need that center line discipline. So second one, I would say by far was my worst one. And it wasn't even rough by any means, but it wasn't smooth. Like, you'll see my my third one's my best one for sure. All right, let's move on to the third one. All right, here we are. Number 3, drinking a little bit of water, trying to stay cool. We were sitting on this one for a while, so I've probably been at this point sitting here 10-15 minutes just boiling. It looks like I got my clearance here. Right there, re-enriching the mixture. That's what you saw me do. Not making that mistake again. Here we go, number 3. Still hot out, getting a little darker out. Like I said, this was in the evening when I did all of these. I think I started at 6 or 6:30. By the time I was done, it was close to or a little after 7. We go, takeoff looking good. She's climbing slow though, that density altitude. Like I said, it was my first experience really with some decent density altitude, and I noticed a difference. Sounds like we're at pattern altitude by the decrease in RPM there. I'll tell you what, these GoPro angles, when you start leaning into them like that, are not flattering. It's like opening up front cam on the iPhone. Looks like we're starting to turn our base here. We've got some flaps in. Turn and final now. Like I said, I went through waves of feeling nervous. When I was up in the air and in the pattern, obviously there's not too much to be nervous about. And actually really landing, like I said, I didn't really have time to be nervous because I was just so focused on my airspeed and just making sure I was lined up and ready to go that it kind of just overtook my nervousness. I wasn't really that nervous to begin with, but you do get a little nerves when you're like, they're letting me fly this thing by myself. This is wild. All right, you'll see in a moment, number 3 is definitely my best one. None of them were butter. I still got a long way to go. But number 3 was my best one because, I mean, it was really a full stall landing. You hear that stall horn for a minute. There it is. There we go. Number 3. Not great centerline discipline, but definitely my best one and my favorite one by far.
What's that? Great. Smooth. I got complimented by someone else. Yeah, on the radio. One of the jets said, nice landing.
All right, guys, so there was my very first solo. Like I said, it felt like it took forever to get to this point. Super happy to be soloing now. Feeling good about it. Like I said, I've gone a couple times since then. I was just dragging my feet on making this video. Lots to work on still. Lots to work on. Particularly landings, centerline discipline, my glide slope as I'm coming into land. But it does feel good to get out there by myself. I'm getting more confident every time. I've been up 4 times by myself now and spent about a total of 4 hours by myself. So over the coming weeks, I've got twice a week scheduled. I'm starting to plan my cross countries. I'm really hoping to be done with everything soon and then start moving on to my instrument rating. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support so far. It means a lot that you guys have supported the channel as early on as you did in my training. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more content like this, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And thanks so much for watching.